Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps a lot. And also keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy. All right, folks, here we are after market close on Tuesday, October 5th. We're going to take a look at SoFi. And I should mention before we get into the chart, basically the rundown of the day is we're going to look at the intraday chart, then the daily chart, and then we'll take a look at the short data. And then I do have an important announcement after we look at the short data, so please stick around for that announcement. You may find it impactful or interesting as well. And so that'll come toward the end. But the intraday today, another slingshot of a day, as we've continued to see this, run up very first thing today. Here's where it could have gotten a little tricky for anyone coming in on the daily. This bounce, now hopefully just green candle and then some sideways action, didn't catch or fool many people who were trying to trade a day today, but we have seen it before where it's run up, bounced, and then run up to an additional intraday high after that. But this obviously bounced, but then just kind of moved sideways and then fell right through the VWAP and then retested that resistance twice and then moved down further. So this is just to say another variation of this trend that we have seen pretty consistently, not every day of course, but runs one direction in the morning and then pretty harshly against the grain for the rest of the day. And so then it was pinning itself to this 1629 zone, which we had charted, I guess, several weeks ago at this point, for the entire rest of the day. So kind of treating that almost like the VWAP, almost looks like one of these situations where we kind of spot algos taking out a bunch of buy and sell orders around the VWAP area. It almost looks like it was doing the same thing around the 1629, but who knows? That said, some good upswing, some good buy volume going in to close, and potentially sort of like swinging through the after hours. We'll see if that holds at all. But, not a bad day for SoFi in the vast scheme, up almost 1%. That said, the major indices did perform a bit better, but sometimes growth is a little bit shyer to come back, if you will. And this could have been mostly a reaction to folks jumping into a bunch of large cap stocks in order to feel like they were buying a dip on those in particular. On the daily that we've been tracking for quite some time, like we had just said there, basically running itself to the 1629 zone, that, as I had mentioned in last night's video, the big bull move here, or the beginning of a bull move, this wouldn't be a big bull move, but the beginning of a bull move here would look like 1629 support, flipping resistance to support, and then making a clear run to try to flip 1687. If we can do that, then the good news is we may be done with this gap. We may have not needed to come down to this sort of further down upper trend line. And we may be putting in something like this as a new trend line support that cuts through this way. Basically looking here at something like this. This could be cleaned up a little bit. But basically taking into account this low here, and then the high of this candle. So flipping from support to resistance here, and then continuing to accumulate along that trend line on its way up at this point. Now, if that does happen, it'll hit an interesting sort of nexus point here on this green uptrend that we had charted a while back when it was trying to flip it from resistance to support here. So if it does continue to condense price action in this area, it'll be interesting to see what happens. That's quite an ascending wedge. So if it falls out, I don't know, but just sort of have to keep an eye on it and see what happens on the day-to-day price action. Now, if we want to flip over and take a look at the short data, here's where we are today. Click into it on old Ortex here with the estimated changes today. up over 14.5%. So this is getting pretty close to where we saw it peel off last time. I think, like I had mentioned in last night's video, I think we saw it around 15% last time when the shorts kind of ran up and then started to pull back and mostly pulled outs and got well down into single digits again. So it'll be interesting to see if they want to try to continue to push this up over 15 and then toward 20, or if they get around this area, maybe another percentage up and then peel back down to single digits again. I don't know. These are just sort of like the first times that we're seeing these things since the switch over from IPOE to SoFi. But you do see here the estimated short interest in purple. You do see it's peaking at this point, and this was back August 23rd. So about 6 weeks ago now, I guess. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on and just make sure that like the pressure that shorts are going to introduce into the perceived price action by way of selling distortion in SoFi doesn't sort of supersede the overall trend from the organic buying and selling of the stock. Okay, so that's basically the update on the charts and on the short data. From my end of things, I don't know if you can tell, usually when I'm very tired, folks call me a bear and say that I sound really down and like don't get discouraged. It's not that I get discouraged, it's that I get tired. And so that brings me to my next point. So we've been covering SoFi daily for several months. It's been a very long journey, very long ride. Certainly hundreds of videos, day over day over day. And I think it's time that sort of has reached its end point, at least from a daily perspective. Now, I haven't made any changes since I last talked about any changes that I made to my SoFi positions. My next plans, because actually folks had asked me about this, I'm looking at two potential plays. One would be to start wheeling SoFi and start selling some covered calls. That may be one, and I may do that on its own, or I may do it in conjunction with either rolling out my 2023 January $20 call option, or averaging down on that, because I'm upside down on it at the moment, as you would imagine. Averaging down on that, or either selling it and rebuying even further dated call. I haven't even checked to see if they have further dated options at this point. Yes. Yeah, big time. So this is the one that I have, January 20th, 2023. They have December 2023 now. Okay, interesting. So I could either roll it out to a further date and keep it right at that $20 mark, or I may buy a closer in strike, so maybe a $16 or so strike for 2023, January 2023, and play it that way. But those are my next plans with SoFi, and I'll certainly update that on my Twitter or in a video when I make those changes. So sorry, that's derailing from what I was saying. So what I was saying was I'm going to interrupt at this point the daily SoFi videos. So tomorrow, unlikely I have a SoFi video out unless there's important news that comes out, important data that comes out, something important with the chart. I will certainly always continue to come in and update on those things as long as I'm aware of them. Otherwise, I need some space to be able to cover some other stocks. I've gotten very busy just in general, and my ability to put out 3-4 videos a night, even 2 videos a night, has really gotten compressed. And so then that means that I end up putting out, 6 videos, 7 videos in a week, and 5 of them are SoFi. And I just don't think that it's necessary, because it's not like there's anything that's so dramatically changing. Typically, these charts sort of hold up for periods of time, and then we adjust them. And so I'll come in when a chart needs adjusting. I'll come in probably for earnings. I'll come in probably when the bank charter is announced. I'll come in, when there is an update in the trend or something like that, and sort of share info at that time. But this is just to say, if you're here only for SoFi, I would appreciate it if you stick around, and I can share videos of some of the other stocks. I wanted to get more into like a lot of what I'm trading intraday or swing trading over periods of days or weeks, because that to me is more interesting. That's where I'm putting the work in day to day in order to sort of decide what positions to take. And so it seems like if I'm putting the work in there anyway, then I might as well kind of share that in this kind of a format. And so that's mostly what I want to shift to doing. Plus, there is still this like ridiculously long backlog of requests, which are probably outdated and people are not even interested in those anymore. But to the extent to which I can get through those and still provide those videos for folks who requested them, I would like to try to do that as well. So just to be clear, because people constantly hear wrong things in these videos, at this point, no longer going to be doing a daily SoFi video just as like a standing tenant. But when there is important stuff that comes up that I'm aware of, news, earnings, I change my positioning. There's some change in the trend or the chart, short data, fails to deliver, dark pool activity, what have you, will certainly come in and make a video and share something about it. But I don't know how often that'll be. Maybe it'll be once a week. Maybe it'll be twice a month. I have no idea. But I am still going to be putting out stock videos, just focusing on other stocks, because if I don't sort of replace the placeholder that SoFi has taken up, I'm never going to get any other videos done, because there's so many days that I can just get one video out. All right, well, I'm turning this into another one of my lengthy rant videos, so just repeating the same thing. But anyway, I appreciate the degree to which folks have come along and have enjoyed this daily look at SoFi. I'm still bullish on the stock. I'm still interested in the company. I guess that's probably a better way to put it. I'm still interested in the company. I'm still holding my positions, I guess, if you want to take that as bullish. I have long positions. And I don't intend on changing that anytime soon. But if it does, I'll do my best to come back in and keep folks posted. All right. I hope your week is going well. And as always, I appreciate you watching. And no matter what the ticker is, I will see you in the next video.